Thank you. Thank you, Rotarians, for joining us tonight for Rotary E-Club. Today's date is Tuesday, January 9th. We have Rotarians Jerica, Mr. Howard Berg from Florida, Miss Linda and David are from Texas, but they are in Florida right now. Miss Robin is from South Dakota, and Blake is from the North Dallas area. Oh, and Miss Lisa, our own Rotarian member, Miss Lisa, in the Dallas area as well. I do believe we have Jack. Perfect. Jack has joined as well. Yes, that's right. Thank you. Miss Lisa is one of our founders. Awesome. All right. And I've got Jack. Jack is also in the Dallas area. Jack and Maria are celebrating 2 years with Rotary E-Club this month. So congratulations, Jack and Maria.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service to our club. And also celebrating birthdays this month is Mr. Paul and Tiffany out in New York. So awesome.
Tiffany.
Welcome.
Tiffany is from Dallas.
Nope, then it's not Tiffany. Wendy. It's Wendy in New York.
Or Maria, yeah.
Yes, there we go. Thank you for correcting me. Awesome. Miss Linda, would you like to open us up in prayer?
Right now.
Okay.
I'm distracted.
All right. Please join me as I open us up in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. Thank you for the holiday seasons that we remember you in our walk through journeys. Bless our Rotary Club and the fellowship and the gifts that we bestow upon our neighbors in our community. Be with Linda and David as they travel back home. In your name we pray. Amen. Thank you. Mr. David, would you like to lead us in our pledge? I do have a flag behind me.
Join me in the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Let's see. Welcome, Bill. You are our guest speaker today, so I'm glad to have you on here. Let's see. Go ahead. For those that don't know, Bill is our former district governor, and he is a leader of our foundation committee with Rotary International as well as the district. And Miss Robin is our foundation chair for our club. So with that, Mr. Bill, go ahead and take it away.
Well, all righty. It's so good to be back with the club. And yes, this is the club that the seedling we started as the district's first evening club. And we used to meet for happy hour, which was so fun at various places. We got a terrible reputation for a little while because we were the party club. But we soon discovered we could see people anywhere they were and morphed into the E-Club. And I think the E-Club is still the future of so much of Rotary. For all established clubs to be doing a meeting in real time, even if they're still meeting traditionally, makes so much sense. And you guys are the pioneers of it. And it's great to see people from everywhere. And truly, we don't know where we're going to be. Actually, I don't from moment to moment because I was in Florida, then DC, and here today. And I could have been coming to you from any of those places today, depending on how the airlines worked out. But I wouldn't miss the meeting. And that is way cool that y'all can meet wherever, whenever you want. So hats off to you. You're cutting edge leaders. I love our organization. I love what we stand for. Linda and David are still there. And I was at the district assembly. The International Assembly, where governors from all over the world come together to get trained. And it is so wonderful to see these 500 plus people from all over the world coming in to be trained by people from all over the world to remind us just how big this organization is with 1.4 million members worldwide and how much impact we have in all these communities all over the world. But it starts with you, the individual Rotarian, the person who wants to do more, wants to give back. I think it's the most natural human thing in the world. Once you know you're going to be okay and your family's okay, is to look around and see, are the rest of the folks around us okay? And is there something we can do to help out? And beyond that, from our communities to the entire world. And I believe that Rotary is one of those organizations that allows us to truly actualize our humanity by our service to humanity. And I know that I'm preaching to the choir here because y'all are here. I mean, we're giving up part of our Tuesday night together to talk about what we can do for our community and for the world at large. But
Yeah.
shall we pause for Charlotte to come on?
So there's Charlotte and Maria and a couple just came on.
Fantastic.
We haven't seen Charlotte in almost a week.
Yeah, we haven't seen Charlotte in almost a week.
Oh,
Got
sure.
your house
Good
finished?
luck with the renovations and everything. That looks like quite the project. And oh my gosh, what a wonderful place you're creating.
Oh, thank you. I just got on. I heard part of it. I think y'all were talking about me.
Well,
Yes, we are.
As soon as we saw you coming on, we started talking about you.
okay.
My ears were burning.
And we're talking about how Rotary is that place where people can find a little segment of their time in an organization that's plugged in, plug into the organization and multiply the good that we do in the world. I think it's the most natural thing in the world to want to give back to our fellow human beings. And it's great that we have this organization that makes it possible. But in as much as we're doing work for the world and for our communities, I think some of the best work we do is for each other. I know that some of y'all are very aware of the challenges that I've faced over the past 2 or 3 years. And it was Rotarians that showed up and provided that extra support beyond what family does. And I think that even the getting together here on a weekly basis, the visiting and seeing Blake for the first time in a while, getting to commune with Howard for a bit, I think it's what we do for each other that is also so very valuable about this organization. I am proud to serve as our foundation chairperson, as well as an area foundation chairperson for 4 districts. And one of the cool things about that job is that you get to see multiple clubs within each district and how they do things in all the projects that they're able to do. And you know, no matter what we want to do, it seems to always take some money to get the job done. And I love the foundation because that provides us the ability to go out and do the major projects that we as Rotarians want to support. I think it's interesting that Rotary has asked Rotarians to get to the foundation, and the foundation is 106 years old. The foundation was started after an international convention when they had like $24 left over, and they said, well, let's just put this in an account to do good work in the future. And that account has grown now to over $2 billion worldwide. And we've distributed billions of dollars to do good work. It's my sincere honor to be part of the audit committee. And the audit committee is a committee of 6 people worldwide that monitor the expenditures and the use of the money with Rotary. And our foundation is recognized as the #1 foundation in the world, according to Charity Navigator and several other organizations that exist just to rank charities. And we're ranked #1 among so many foundations and charities you've heard of, such as the Heart Associations, Cancer Societies, and other organizations. We're ranked #1 because money gets to where it's supposed to go. And it gets to where it's supposed to go because Rotary is made up of volunteers like you, people who care about their community. And when we send money to do some good work in India, like our dialysis clinic, or in Africa, like the education for the girls in Malawi, we have Rotarians on the other side who are the business leaders, those with a heart to serve, plugged into their community, who make sure that the dollars get placed with those who need. And so we have less graft, we have less layers of administration, we have more of the heart to make sure the dollars are working. And that's why our organization ranks #1 of all foundations and charities. And that means even if you were not a Rotarian, even if you knew nothing about Rotary, but you were a philanthropist and you wanted to give your money where it was going to do some good in the world, if you did your research, you would be giving it to your Rotary Foundation. It's just that good. And the Rotary Foundation does all sorts of things. Some of the things we want to support, like the eradication of polio. How many of y'all have heard the polio story by now? Show of hands if I could. like every hand's going up. Jack, have you not heard the Rotary polio story?
Well, yeah, I do.
Okay. Because I would tell it to you if you hadn't, because it's a great story. It is like the greatest legacy that Rotary's had. And that is in the 70s in the Philippines, the Rotarians took on the challenge to eradicate polio from the island. And once they did that, they're like, the whole world is just a bunch of islands. Okay, they're called continents. But the idea is you do it here, you can do it one by one and get rid of this horrible thing forever for mankind. And smallpox is the only virus we've ever been able to do that with. And we took on the challenge. Other organizations said it was too big, wouldn't be possible. But it was just a few years later, the World Health Organization and government ministries of health all over the world joined in. And today we are so close, with Pakistan being our only problematic country, and we're down from thousands a year of cases of polio to a handful a year. And in our lifetimes, it's expected that we will say this disease is gone from the world forever because of leadership of Rotarians like y'all. And this has been a long fight. I mean, people have gotten tired of this fight because it starts like in the 80s. It started 70s and they did it. In the 80s, they made the challenge. So we're talking about 40 years of pushing to get this done. But it was that continued push. And currently, we are committed to raising $50 million every single year. And the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation will match that 2-to-1. And Bill Gates said he wouldn't put his money in a place where it wasn't going to be successful. He thinks with a partnership with Rotary and the World Health Organization and other groups, we're going to knock this out this year or so. And so that's what we do with the funds. But in addition, we do things like Peace Scholars. And how many of y'all have heard about our Peace Scholar? I mean, Linda and y'all were so influential in making it happen this last year, 2 years ago. And Peace Scholar, I mean, peace needs to start breaking out all over the world. More than in the last 20 years, the last couple of years have woke me up to the importance of having those who are skilled in the area of peace and conflict resolution in hotspots all over the world. And we train those folks as Rotarians, and that's part of what our dollars we get to the foundation do for us. There's a lot of confusion surrounding the foundation and how it works. And historically, our district has been very difficult to just share the information. And 2 years ago, as I took the foundation chair job, one of my goals is to make it clear and easy for anyone to know how things work and make sure the money gets to anyone who has a good idea and wants to spend the money. My challenge is that while we have the rules now clearly stated, and I can point to the rule book, people are still not saying the rules correctly. And there's still confusion around the foundation. And from the very leadership in this club, I've heard people say, well, I don't think we should give because we don't get anything back. And I'm like, okay, somewhere there was a disconnect. And it is my hope that we're able to connect things back together. Because as I said, even if we got nothing back locally, it's the thing that we should be supporting just as caregivers and philanthropists of the world, and especially as Rotarians, where the Rotary International expects us to, every Rotarian, to support their foundation. But I'd like today to maybe clarify some of the misconceptions that I've heard espoused from some of the members of this club, and make sure that y'all understand clearly how that works, and answer any other questions y'all might have about the foundation locally in our district, the foundation in our area, or even Rotary International, as I sure learned a lot doing the international audit of the $2 billion organization. And that was a long week spent of a lot of numbers and a lot of information with other accountants. It's not really exciting, but when you get behind the numbers, I think it's really exciting. So let me stop with that and see if that meets what y'all would like to talk about in the next few moments, and see if there are any other questions that y'all might have.
Yeah, so Bill, thank you. This is awesome because that was certainly one of my misdirected perceived notion, was that we had to put in a certain quota of members into the foundation in order to qualify for a district grant. And I learned at Roundtable, I think it was back in November, that you don't. There's a minimum that clubs can qualify for up to $750 if the funds are available. That we could apply for up to 750. Is that correct?
You only have part of the information still, which is so frustrating, but yes, we set it up so every club, even a club with no previous donations whatsoever, could ask for $750 to do good work. And this was to help those clubs that were just getting started, or help those clubs that didn't have a good history of giving. And so we have had, for every year that I've been aware, we've had excess money. We are able to meet every request for foundation giving. We have not run out of money. Yet so many people within our district administration say, well, there's not going to be enough money to go around. That is possible someday, but we have yet to see that day. At this point, we've been able to meet the request made. And so every club, even a brand new club with no dollars in, can ask for up to $750. And thus far, on my watch, they've gotten all $750. But it's more better than even that, Jerica. The more better part is that you have a guaranteed minimum amount that is it's what we receive back as a district from your club's giving, available for district grants. And it's roughly 25%, which I'll put in.
Yes. Let me grab my notebook here because I have it all written down.
If you put in $4,000, you're eligible for automatic $1,000 3 years later, because that's what we get back to the district that can go to grants. So I'm looking at the people here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people here. If everybody here put in $500, it's $1,000 a year coming back from the $500 that y'all contributed every year going forward. So it's a quarter of what you put in 3 years earlier. It's guaranteed.
Right.
Guaranteed.
Yes.
No matter if there's money or no money. You have that coming because y'all put it in. Now,
Okay. Is that money in addition to the 750 that we can apply for or no?
nope, that's the guaranteed amount.
That's
And
the
so-
guaranteed amount. Okay.
When I get back, the confusion, Jerica, is often people are looking at the guaranteed amount, because y'all's guaranteed amount was like, I think your contribution was like $1,000 3 years ago. And
Well,
so,
yeah, that's another problem because I transferred to the club back in 2021, but my annual giving didn't get transferred over.
and it won't. It starts up from the club you get. Now, your previous club, they're going to be happy for the $1,000 you gave every year there.
Yes.
But when it comes to giving, Jerica, you can't carry a whole club with your $1,000 year contribution. And $1,000 a year, that's the Paul Harris Society level.
Yes.
You remember when I first joined, how many of y'all are Paul Harris Fellows? Show of hands. A lot of Paul Harris Fellows here. And that's a person who's given $1,000 over their lifetime to the foundation. And it doesn't even have to be all dollars. It could be points. And when you give dollars, you get points back, so you can recognize, and that's oftentimes how it's used, as a recognition for non-Rotarians. So when you have a great speaker or somebody's done a good job, and you'd like to say, Rotary recognizes you as a Paul Harris Fellow, you've used 1,000 of your points to recognize somebody else, and they get the pen and the ribbons and the good prestige and good feeling that comes from being Paul Harris Fellow.
Yes.
But some clubs use that to give to other Rotarians within their clubs. I say, well, I've got money to give, but my friend, they got a big heart, but they don't have any money right now. But we want them to be a Paul Harris Fellow. So we're going to make them a Paul Harris Fellow with my giving. And so they get the whole club 100% Paul Harris Fellows that way. Paul Harris Fellow is $1,000 cumulative over your existence as a Rotarian. Now, there's another group called the Paul Harris Society. Now, Jerica, I know you know the difference because that's Andy's bailiwick. But what is the
Yes.
difference between the Paul Harris Fellow and the Paul Harris Society?
The Paul Harris Society is where you set up an auto debit for $86.66 a month. And that equivalents to $1,000 per year. And that gets you to the next golden level of your Paul Harris Fellow each year.
Yes, and you don't even have to do it on a monthly basis. It's a commitment that you're going to give $1,000, not over your
Okay.
life, $1,000 per year. Now, way back when I joined Rotary, almost 30 years ago now. I was younger. And I guess we were all younger 30 years ago. That's a dumb thing to say, right? I'm sorry. But I didn't have a whole lot of extra money to get by. I was developing my practice. I had my own business. And I don't know how many of y'all are business owners, but I worried at times that there was more a month at the end of the money. And there was not always as much income as outgo. And it was very difficult for me to write a big check. And I was a member of the Rotary Club of Dallas, where there were a lot of people that could write big checks. And it was nothing to them. And for me, it was counting every dollar as I was trying to build a practice, start a family, and do other things. And I had a fellow Rotarian that I respected a lot ask if I would join the Paul Harris Society. I'd already given like $500 to the foundation. And I thought real hard about it. I'm thinking, well, I could probably come up with another $500. Yeah, I could probably do this. I made the mistake. I thought he was asking me to be a Paul Harris fellow, but he was asking me to join the Paul Harris Society. And so I said, okay.
Society is what, 10,000?
Society is $1,000 every year, but it's a commitment every year.
Okay.
And I was
Yeah.
incredibly afraid of the big C word, commitment.
Yeah.
Commitment's scary at that point in life. And so I said, okay. And then 2 weeks later, he announced me in front of the club and he said what I had signed up for. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I thought, but I didn't want to not do it. And he said, Bill, calm down. It's going to be okay. I talked to him after the meeting. He's like, don't worry. He said, it's just $84 a month. And like you, Jerk, I thought about it. I said, well, I spend $84 a month on dumber things than this. He said, don't worry. If you can't do it, just stop it. And if it gets to where you can't do it, there's no Rotary police that are going to come get you. They're grateful for what you give, but you can stop it at any time. And with that reassurance, I started doing $84 a month. And true, life happened. I got married. I had children. I had the business that grew, then shrunk and grew and shrunk again. Things were bumpy along the ways. And there were times, I remember 15 years ago with Lisa, pulling out our cable bill to see if we didn't need all those stations we had subscribed to. Where could we cut back? How much entertainment do we need? We were examining every expense, but I never stopped the $84 a month because it was the place where I felt like I was paying where my heart was and the things I cared about. And when we came to that, we always found a way to maintain it. And this week, from doing $1,000 every year for lots of years, I got to the major donor level 2. Now, major donor is $10,000. That's just 10 years of doing it. But you get 25 years of doing it, you get 25,000 in. I would never have written a check for 25,000. I never thought I had that much to give to charity at one lump sum. But at $84, I never missed it. And I've always felt good about it. And I've seen the work we've done. And so that's the Paul Harris Society. And that's kind of what you're doing, Jerica. And your contributions are the primary contributions to the club right now. And because of that, y'all be getting $250 back no matter what. But because of that, your average per capita giving is like $60 per person.
Okay.
So you have so few people, your giving goes a long way per capita.
Okay. Because Andy tries to get $125 per person from their club.
Well, the average per capita giving in the district is $125. And a lot of clubs
Okay.
say, well, we will at least hit what everybody else is doing. We don't want to be behind the average. So it's kind of like everybody wants to hit that average. And so that's their
Yeah.
goal. You're way above the average. And some people just don't have it to do right or don't know. And I think that's usually the case. They just don't know.
Yeah.
And so, but even at that level, it's not just $750 you can apply for. Your club, because you're per capita giving, you got your guaranteed $250. And everybody can ask for up to $750, even if you had a zero. But y'all can go up to $1,500. And the money is there just for the asking. So you should have been told it's your presidential year at PETS or at one of the training seminars, had I been at the training seminars
Right.
for you, that don't miss your $1,500 of free money to do whatever you want to do locally or internationally. If y'all are doing a project, we will match what you do up to $1,500. Now, the $1,500 is not guaranteed.
Okay.
The part that's guaranteed is a $250. And so there's a $500 maybe risk that you might not get from the district. But that $500 risk, a couple members say, apply for it. If we don't get it, among all of us here, we can come up with that other 500. But every year for the last 10 years that I've
Yeah.
been aware, you've gotten all your money.
Okay.
And so
Perfect.
that's how it really works. You guys, it's not just $750, but because of your per capita giving being over $50 a person, you're up to $1,500. And if your per capita giving got over the 125, you go up to the higher level, which is what the other club is looking to do.
Okay. Okay. That's
This
helpful.
last year, we were told we had $413 is all. So that's all
So
we,
I would have said such a thing, Miss Linda.
well, it was the foundation person.
Yeah.
person.
But that's okay. I have it all in writing now.
Okay.
And I have my certificate of when I attended Rotary Foundation training, and I did the online. And you're going to be doing a raffle soon, right? I mean, my name got in that one.
Yes. And that's exactly what I'm hoping we can keep doing, is encouraging people to learn as much as they can. Because
Yeah.
knowledge is truly the power that enables you to do things, and that lack of knowledge, listening to rumors or people who don't know, even if they are supposedly in a position, that's not helpful. You
Yeah.
guys are able to do it. And on top of that, I'm kind of partial to the club that I love.
Help started. Yes.
Uh-huh.
So another question, Bill, you mentioned District 5810 Foundation. Should we be sending money to the district to send to international, or do I keep doing it that way?
You do it directly. In fact, it's so much easier as your foundation chair, you help people set it up directly to give when they want to give. Show them
Okay.
how to use the app. It's not that
Yeah.
difficult, but the first time is a pain because people don't know what their Rotary number is and things. But your club secretary or the president,
I can help anybody get, yeah. Linda and I can both help.
no, let's just take 20 minutes and go through it. You don't have to give, but this is how you do it. We're going to set you up. And if you can just do $20 today, I'll show you how to do it, and
Yeah.
we'll make some contributions. And never pressure anybody. Oh my gosh. I did my $84, but I never want to pressure a person. In my job now, we have raised the bar every year. We have increased foundation giving by a dramatic percentage over the last couple of years. And it's not by making people feel bad who don't do it. That is so unfriendly. That's not the Rotarian way. That's not loving.
That's a good point.
By inviting people who can do it. We're blessed. We have a lot of people who've done real well. And we've had people like me that had periods where we haven't done well, and we did real well, and we're not so well again. It's like, ugh. When life presents you the opportunity to give back financially, I just want people to know where to give it and know how to do it. And because we have been doing that type of education, our foundation giving went from 600,000 last year within our district to over $1 million the year before last year. And most of that was from those who already had given a lot, those who'd already given hundreds of thousands. We just talked to again and reminded them that here are the needs that can be met with these different things, and these are the scholarships, and you can even do and people have different ideas of what they want to do. I know some people who are all about girls empowerment, educating young women around the world. I have other groups that are about clean, safe water. I know other people who are interested in helping the local community and doing scholarship type funds. Whatever they want to do, we can show them how to get their dollars actually earmarked to do those funds in a much more efficient way than almost any other organization, an organization that has 100-year history. And so we were able to direct money. So I guess my point is, I know all y'all are the doers of your club because the club is small. You all have to carry
Yeah.
some of. Never, please, never make a person feel bad for not having money
Yeah.
to give today. your club can be the highest per capita club. You've got people that have the ability. You just need to know how to do it. And I tell you, with what you already have, your $1,500 next year, y'all should be thinking of the project that y'all want to do. And
Well,
piggyback another one, or it could be your own.
yeah. I think Howard, you last year when you were president, you said something when I came over that I remember is you set it up on auto debit, $20 once a year, and you just forget about it. Start small, just start doing something. And I think what is it every year, every Rotarian every year. So I think that's 100 a year. Okay. So I think that's a great starting point. If maybe we can incorporate that in our strategic plan, is to maybe start for every Rotarian every year, just to start at something to get everybody to support the foundation.
I agree with you, and I think that's a wonderful idea. But again, I would say there were times where even $100 can hurt. Don't be too harsh.
Right,
even-
right. Yeah, no, it's not a requirement, just optional.
And
But it
then,
is nice to see, when you look at the Rotary magazine and you see all the good work that the foundation is doing, what Rotary is doing, the clubs are doing. So I mean, I do see where the money does come back, especially being on Charity Navigator, because I do donate to other organizations. So I mean, really, when you look at it, 99% of every dollar donated is going right into the mission. None of it is going to administration. I mean, yeah. So I mean, that's your truth right there.
amen. And it's because of people like y'all who donate your time. And on our audit committee, we have attorneys and CPAs that charge $500 to $2,000 an hour, working for free for weeks on end. And nobody else has got that. That's a Rotary special. And again, be there for those who have the ability to do bigger gifts at one time. People sell their businesses or they have big years and they want to do donor advised funds or other things that can certainly be done through the Rotary Foundation.
And
Mr. David, you had a question or a
David,
comment?
I'm gonna do a comment. A few years ago, a friend of mine said, "The day Rotary requires me to give to the foundation will be my last day in Rotary." And he had credentials like past international president of Rotary. And at that time, he was head of the Rotary Foundation. But he said, if you require me to give, I'm gone.
I agree. Yeah.
So much. I think this is a bottoms up driven organization and you do what you can do and you don't push that on your members. And I'll tell you that thinking, I know it's going to sound counterintuitive, but that thinking, let's say, how did you increase foundation giving so much last couple of years? It's just doing that, just talking to those. We all want to give. We just want to make sure our money's going to the right place and we can give at different times. And it's just sharing that same message. You're so right, David. And so is that, I'm guessing you're talking about Burton here, but so was that past international Rotary president who said, we can't require that of our members. That's not we're not a top down organization. You don't tell
So
them
we don't require it.
Foundation.
David, we don't require it, but would
Would
it still be a good strategic plan?
Our club. This is about Ron Burton's
okay.
personal feeling.
We don't require it, but,
And he was head of the foundation.
Yeah.
He said it.
okay, but right now, we're not requiring it, but we can maybe put it in that this is our goal, okay?
Or would that contradict?
no, it's okay to have such a goal. And we even have people say, not everybody can do it, but we're making it happen somehow.
Oh, because okay, I know what you're saying. You make it somehow by using the money that I donate to help fulfill the bucket for somebody else.
Yes.
Okay, I got it now.
Not all of us are all of us are deducting our using itemized deductions anymore, and we're not getting the charitable deduction. So we're just getting a couple $100. It's like it doesn't matter if I get credit or not. It doesn't do me any favors. And so
Right.
different ways of doing it. Also, this next year, if everything works the way I hope it will work, we will be having our $1 million dinner. And $1 million dinner is where other districts have been able to raise $1 million. I'm going to do it like Dr. Evil, $1 million in one night. And the way you do that often is through bequests. There are a lot of us who are like, I'm a giver and I like the organization and I would like to see them get the money, but I might need it between now and the time I meet my maker. And I don't really want to give it away now and need it later. Beverly Grogan. I remember Beverly Grogan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Past district governor. Never was married, never had children. Left all of our money to charity. And took care of almost every charity in Grand Prairie. But her biggest gift was to the Rotary Foundation because she thought that would do the most good for the world. So the $1 million dinner is oftentimes about people saying, okay, I know I'll be able to give 100,000 at my death or whatever that number is. And I had people who were married, and they're like, with children, they're like, okay, the kids are okay. They're not going to miss 10%. So 10%, parts going to the church, parts going to my alma mater, parts going to Rotary. And they call off that piece, and we show them how to do that in their estate plan. And I know it sounds like faraway money, and it's never going to come, but we've seen our friends like Beverly already have that come and see that the money did go where it was supposed to, and it is cared for the way it's supposed to be cared for, and it's her forever living legacy. I think that is a wonderful thing. So even giving into the future is considered major for the foundation. So I think everybody, if you're a believer in what we do in helping humanity and you want to give, this is a great avenue for doing so. Even present gifts or gifts in the future after we're gone, or both. I think that Linda, not to put you on your spot, but aren't you a Bequest Society member as well as a white hat, as well as a major donor?
David, yeah. Well, and also the bequest is a minimum of 10,000.
Okay.
And you can have a codicil to your will to do that.
Yet it feels weird to talk to people about this. I mean, I can't just walk into a Rotary Club of Dallas meeting and say, y'all look really old and y'all should be considered, giving your money at your death. I mean, you can't do that. But
Bill, aren't you a financial advisor and planner?
as an attorney, CPA, and financial advisor, it's what I do for people professionally. And that's why I'm in the position
Well, that
so
should
easily.
be easy. Yeah, that should be easy for you to help people navigate.
Well, you can't do it quite that way.
Oh,
But just let them know you're out there. Some people come. And this last year, after COVID, we had several people sell businesses and they had big lump sums. And they'll never see those lump sums like that again.
that's a good point too. Yeah.
But at that point, they want some tax planning and some philanthropic giving all combined. And I give bunches of hours to those who want to know. And I don't charge Rotarians for my time. For that type of work, it's given because I know it's going to benefit the foundation, which is what I care about anyway. And I can't write those checks myself. So I love helping other people give their $1 million and seeing the work that it does and feel like I did my small part in the whole plan of this organization. So if I can help any of y'all at any level, best way to get me is a phone call. I think Jerica knows. Howard knows. You don't email me if you really want me. You call me. And if you call me, I'll get back to you. And I am happy to do it because this is outside of my family and my religion, I guess, Rotary is the most important thing that I do because I see the ripples that our pebble makes in the whole world and the true potential that this organization has for having lasting change in the world. And one of the things you're going to hear about a lot more next year, I'm assuming that Linda sent you the new theme.
The magic of Rotary.
Well, Stephanie is all about peace, world peace. Peace has never been more important. I guess in the last 20 years, we haven't seen it as more important. planning peace polls in communities to remind people of the importance of understanding and acceptance. And a lot of Rotarians don't know that Rotarians were involved in the establishment of the United Nations. And Rotary still has a place at the table of the United Nations, which is rare for an organization like ours. We have such potential, and I hope we can actually actualize all that potential. Any
Well,
questions?
no, that's awesome, Bill. Thank you so much. We'll definitely be reaching out. Well, I'll be at Pets in February, March, so we'll talk more about what opportunities there are for our club. I don't want to put you on the spot, but David and Linda, can you spend a couple minutes, tell us about what's going on in Florida?
Well, Sonny Sharma, Bill Dindy, we were all here. We're going to the International Assembly General Sessions. Monday, we learned the new theme for this next year is the magic of Rotary. And we've also been talking and we said, well, that's a pro because we're here at Disney World where it's the Magic Kingdom. So we shall be able
Gee,
to,
that fits together.
that fits together.
Yep.
And but we're learning, about the DEI, we're learning about just coordinating, working with projects, working with each other, getting the young people to help chartering new clubs if we can. They said like over the last 20 years, there's only been, or 10 years, there's only been 20% of the clubs that have developed a new club, or the district has developed a new club. We've done that. So anyway, but it's just getting all the DGEs from around the world, over 500 of them are here. And so, and I'm making my cookies for all the vendors and Bill and Sonny and I think Bill, you got some cookies, didn't you?
No, I missed the cookies.
You left. Well, I made 60 cookies last night. So
No.
Oh, my.
Work called me.
They're designed to last for months.
yeah, they're designed.
Linda, don't fail to bring some for me.
Oh, okay. And of course, coming over, we stopped and visited with Charlotte in Theodore, Alabama, and had lunch with her and saw our renovations on her house. And we spent some Panama City Beach, and then we came here, and it's just been exciting to see all the people that all the
Nice.
people known for years. We see once or twice a year. And also you might start planning. I know there's Singapore is next, but then after Singapore for the international is Calgary, Canada. And I said it's a couple of days later is a Stampede, and that's always exciting to go to. So we'll be going to that.
Okay, what is the Stampede? I heard you talking about it at the beginning.
Can I
Maybe
tell you what
best-
Stampede is? I've been there once before, and it is so worthy. People drive all the way to Calgary just for that experience. It's like their big rodeo. And you wouldn't believe it, but Canadians do rodeo like Texans, but better. It is-
Okay, interesting. I thought it was the rodeo word, but
Yes.
I was like, in Canada? Huh.
Yes.
and the beef there tastes different because they feed the beef different things. It's got a flavor that a lot of people love. I like our Texas beef, but Alberta Canadian beef has a different flavor. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
In the Stampede, all the major companies offer pancakes or flapjacks in the morning. So you can eat breakfast for free, company to company, bank or insurance company after another. It's a weird situation.
Yeah.
And everybody's so polite. They're so Canadian, eh?
Yeah.
Canadian Stampede. Okay.
Speaking of breakfast,
the 1.5 level.
yeah. Yeah. Benedict at breakfast, David's been fixing us a big breakfast every morning with waffles and eggs and sausage, fruit and everything. And we're going to be seeing Howard on Sunday and Vicky. And so it's been great. But one thing, I've spent an hour or so with the lady from Club Runner today. Her
Yeah.
father is the one that developed Club Runner. And we need all of our members to go in and sign up, get registered with Club Runner. And then from there, we can do some other stuff, and there's some new changes. And so once everybody gets signed up for it, which is really easy, if you have any problems, give me a call, but we need everybody registered, and also to get the Club Runner app. So, you know, you go to the store, Apple store, and get the Club Runner. And so be sure and do that. And that way it'll make my job easier too as treasurer. And so anyway, I want to stress that. But
Thank you. I'll send a note out tomorrow and then put your contact information on it.
okay, very good. Thank you.
But I'll tell them to wait until next week to call you since you're out of town.
We will be out of town until about the 21st.
Okay.
We're gonna be spending next week at Disney World.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So
Sweet.
Awesome. All right. Well, anything else before we adjourn with our four-way test?
thank you, Bill, for coming back.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. That was a good lecture.
Good to
Jack,
hear you,
thank you.
Bill.
Yes, sir.
Good message.
Love being here. Charlotte, why don't you turn the camera on?
Well, I'm on my phone, so it's different. I couldn't get on my computer tonight. There's Lisa.
How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you doing?
Great, thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And there's Maria. Hello, Maria.
She's usually
Hello.
with you're usually with a student this time at night.
I am.
Oh, speaking of students, thank you, Howard, for the reading for Larkin. Thank you. She's only 10, Howard. She's only 10.
She's your 10-year-old, so she could be getting college credit.
But she's already so darn smart. I'm not sure I like her. Howard.
Howard, I also have a student for you. I also have an 11-year-old for you to get started with her college credits.
There she is. Oh,
There she is. Okay.
Super. All right. Well, please join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And fifth, will it be fun? All right. Good night, you guys.